Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jules and I am here to do my July wrap up. I'm going to do it similar to how I have done it in previous months, where I do a weekly recap each week and then do my final at the end. The first 2 weeks of July, I read 5 books. Not very many, but that's okay. I've been busy because my bestie's been here. So the first book I picked up was Clown in a Cornfield 3. It was not my fave of the books so far. I really enjoyed the first 2. I feel like this one, it was not really a continuation of the first 2. It just kind of felt disconnected from it. It's like completely different. There was only like 1, maybe 2 characters from those that continued into this one. And I feel like I should have probably done a recap because I forgot. I should have done a reread of those 2 because I was kind of confused at the beginning. I was like, who is this? What is happening? Not to mention there was 2 completely separate POVs. And so one, we're following Quinn and she is from the previous books. And then, and she's basically out kind of doing like a vigilante, finding the people of the Friendo group that was doing all the killings. And then there is another POV of a younger girl. She's in this very like cult religious town, I guess, that's kind of like hidden out. And so you're like really into this one POV, and then all of a sudden you jump to this other POV and they're like not connected at all, but then eventually it does come around to where it's connected. And so I did enjoy kind of like the last, I don't even know, not even quite half of it, but I did enjoy the last half more, than the first half of it. I just felt very kind of like I was reading 2 different stories. So I did only end up giving that one 3 stars. The second book I picked up was Finley, Donovan Digs Her Own Grave. This is book 5 in the series. I really have a good time with this series. I can't really tell you much about it because obviously all the books are just kind of a continuation of her kind of hot mess express life that she's going through. So the end of the 4th book, something that happened in that with her neighbor, that is a continuation of that. The relationship between Finley and Vero is still there. They're still doing up to their shenanigans. But then also the neighbor lady across the street comes in the mix. And yeah, it's pretty funny. The third book I picked up was Third Degree by James Patterson. So this is the 3rd book in the Women's Murder Club. I did start it a couple months ago. I enjoyed the first book the best. The second book was just kind of okay. So you're following the same detective and her partner, just basically different scenarios of things that are going on, but there's also like side family things happening in these. So this book revolved around terrorist bombings, and I didn't really love it. So basically there's a bombing while she's out jogging, and then she goes in and rescues somebody out of it, and then there's more bombings that are happening, but then there's these letters that are being sent about like kind of like not really clues, but basically like stop doing this or we're gonna there'll be more bombings. So the whole book is basically her and her partner trying to figure out who's doing these bombings and these killings. There's bombings, but there's also other killings that are happening and murders that are happening. So they're trying to solve both because they think they're connected. At first they didn't think they were, but then they're realizing that they are. So yeah, it was okay. I only ended up giving that one a 3 star. And then the last 2 books I picked up are in a vlog. They are in my Summerween vlog that is already out, so you can go there to get all my thoughts on these books. So I picked up And There He Kept Her by Joshua Moling. I ended up giving this one 3 stars. And then I picked up Bad Tourist by Carol Carver, and I ended up giving this one 3.5 stars. So I will link that vlog in the description so you can go there to get all my thoughts. And I'll see you next week for the next update. Hey, I am back with some updates on the books that I read this past week. I did get more read. Gwen did go home, so I have been reading. But the first book I picked up was Mistakes We Never Made by Hannah Brown. I actually buddy read this while Gwen was here. So I do have a reading vlog of her whole time that she was here, and we go into this in detail on our thoughts. So I will link that vlog and you can go check out our thoughts on this book. The next book I picked up was 4th of July by James Patterson. This is the 4th book in the Women's Murder Club series. This is probably my favorite of the series so far. I really did enjoy the first one. The second and third ones were just kind of okay for me, but this one was so good. So this one starts off with a bang with a murder scene that happened at a hotel. It's a John Doe. It has Lindsay thinking back to another, it's very similar to another John Doe that she had like years before. And so they start investigating this murder. Lindsay's out with the girls, has a drink. Her partner's like, hey, I've got a lead, you know, come with me. And she's like, I've had a drink, I can't drive, but you know, I'm not drunk, I'm good. So they go out, they pull over this car. It's some young kids who've obviously taken their parents' car out, you know, for a joyride. They pull them over, and then, you know, they flee the scene and they have an accident. So they're going to help them. And in the process of that, the kids open fire on them. And in the process, Lindsay and her partner both get injured. Nothing fatal. But then one of the kids dies. The other's like injured really bad. And now there's a lawsuit against Lindsay for wrongful death by this family of these kids. So a lot of this is that trial that's happening. So Lindsay is on leave because she was injured. So she goes to stay with her sister. So she's in a different area. And then while she's in this other area where her sister's at, there's some murders that are happening. It's not her jurisdiction, but she's like, these are so similar to, you know, a cold case, the John Doe cold case she had, plus tying into the other one they found. So she starts doing some investigating with that. So you've got her kind of like trying not to get in trouble, like investigating when she's not supposed to. So she's doing that while she's also going through this trial to try and like prove that she did not wrongfully, you know, that she did her job. And they're hung up on the fact that she had some alcohol in her system. So it was just really interesting, the entire book. Like, I just had a really good time with this. The next book I picked up was StarSpangled Murder by Leslie Meyer. I had a good time with this one, you guys. I had been a little worried because the first like few books of this series I had been given 4 stars, but then like the last 2 or 3 I read, I was like, they're just 3 stars. And I was like, oh my gosh, come on. I ended up giving this one 4 stars. This one had all the holiday vibes. So we've got, you know, her dog killing chickens and she's having to deal with that. There's some type of wildlife plant in their area that the naturists are trying to like preserve. So they're not wanting the fireworks, you know, big firework display show that they have to happen because they're afraid that it's gonna like cause, you know, damage or fire, you know, to this type of plant. There's also some nudists who have come to the area. They have these town meetings, and so like everybody's wanting the paper to put out stories about why this should stay or why we should still have the fireworks. Everybody's just kind of fighting with everybody. It's just kind of a hot mess express in the town right now. So her son's like 21 now, which is crazy because he was like a teenager when it started, but he's working on a boat. He goes out like on a fishing boat and has a job, and he's gone a lot. There's also some lobster poaching going on. So they're trying to figure out, you know, who's, you know, poaching all these lobsters, and she's hoping that her son's not any part of it because he's out on this boat and like he's gone a lot. And so it's just kind of funny, like her being a mother, like what's going on, you better not be doing anything shady. Like, so yeah, I just had a really good time with this one, so I'm hoping they continue to be good. The next book I picked up, which I just finished today, was King of Ashes by S.A. Cosby. This is so good, y'all. This was so good. So we're following a group of siblings who kind of have to come together. Their father has had an accident, which they don't think is an accident. So the older brother is in Atlanta. He's like a finance guru guy, and basically he knows how to make money. And he comes back. So they're all kind of have a trauma from their mother disappearing when they were younger and not knowing what happened to her. And then the younger brother has gotten himself into some hot water with some bad people. So he owes a lot of money. You know, he's tried to do this whole drug dealing thing, and things didn't work out right, and he owes a lot of money now. So Roman comes back because his father was in this accident, and he basically is like, oh, what is going on? They also own a crematorium, which the sister has been running with the father. So it used to be that the father ran this crematorium. The mom was a nurse, but also helped at the crematorium. And the mother just like up and went missing. And a lot of people thought that the dad did it because he has a crematorium, that he like got rid of his wife. but there's like no evidence of anything. So the siblings are all back together. The brother is a hot mess. He's on drugs. You know, the sister is kind of also a hot mess. She just doesn't have any, she just basically works at the crematorium and then hooks up, you know, with this married cop. So like her life is a mess. So Roman basically has to confront these, you know, bad guys and be like, how much my brother owe you, and okay, I'll get you the money, but of course they want more. And so yeah, they're not good. It's basically organized crime, not good people. And so Roman has to try and find a way to get in the inner circle so he can kind of figure out a way to like take him out. I did like the narrator's voice. He's just very smooth, but also he talked a little slow. I had to speed it up a lot because I was like, bro, you're talking too slow. So, but yeah, I had a really good time with this. Definitely recommend picking this one up. The last book I picked up was an arc of Smile for the Camera. I actually started it earlier in the month, but I just finished it last night. This was a lot of fun. So this one, we are following a group of actors and actresses that were in a slasher film, and they are going back for a reunion. So something happened during the filming of the movie originally, like somebody died. It does tell you that. We don't know who died, how they died, whatever, but they're all covering up something. So all of them have gone different ways. They haven't seen each other. Our main character that we're following, Ella, she wants to get back in the business because of everything that happened. It just kind of like messed her up a little bit. And so she kind of was out of it, but now she's wanting to get back into the business. Her agent has told her that you have this job lined up that they want you for, but you have to do this reunion show first. And she's like, I don't want to do a reunion show. And they're like, well, you have to. So all of them come back together. They go back to the original shooting of this slasher. And of course, they haven't seen each other. Ella's been out of the game for a while. One of the guys, Leo, who was her boyfriend in the movie, he is like a big star. Like he just kept going on, and like he's, you know, really popular. One of the other guys kind of is, but is also a hot mess. He's a drunk, has had videos of him circulating, getting in fights with people. So he's trying to get himself turned back around. Another girl that was in it, not very popular, but like she's still doing things. She's like, has like a lot of followers on some social platform that she does. So they all come back together and they're doing these interviews, and basically they're staying at the cabins. So we get different timelines. So we get the timelines of then when they were filming the original slasher, which is kind of fun because it talks about like them, you know, being nervous about their first job, or, you know, their first sex scene, or how they have to act like when they're getting murdered or chased or whatever. So it kind of shows you what's happening while they're filming that. Then you have the now, where they're all together doing the interviews and like reconnecting and talking, and then people start dying. So somebody knows something happened, they want revenge, and they're killing people. I really enjoyed both timelines. Like I didn't have, and they kind of flowed really nice. So I didn't feel like I'm in this one and then all of a sudden, oh, because sometimes I get that with books. I'm like in a timeline and I'm having a good time, and the next thing you know, it throws me into another one, and I'm like, okay, that just took me out of the story. But this one actually flowed really nice. So I ended up giving this one 4 stars. So that is my updates from this past week, and I'll see you next week for more updates. Hello, I am back with an update of the books I read this past week. I read a total of 5 books, and all 5 of those books are in the same vlog. So I'm not going to go over the books and my thoughts on them. I'm just going to tell you the book and what my star rating was. And then you can head to the vlog if you want any of my in-depth thoughts on these. So the first book I picked up was With a Vengeance by Riley Sager, and I ended up giving this one 4 stars. The second book I picked up was All This and More by Peng Shepherd. It looks like Peng. P-E-N-G to me is ping or pang, but Gwen says it's Peng. So Peng Shepherd. I ended up giving this one 4.5 stars. It was a good time. The next book I picked up was Bat Eater and Other Names for Cora Zing by Kylie Lee Baker. I ended up giving this one 4 stars. The next book I picked up was The Book of Witching by C.J. Cook. I ended up giving this one 3 stars. And the last book I picked up was Antique Auctions or Murder by Libby Klein, and I gave this one 5 stars. So I will have that vlog linked in the description below, and I will be back next week for my final updates. Hello, I am back with an update for my final wrap up in July. So this past week I read a total of 4 books. All 4 of those books are in a vlog. I did a Frida vlog, so all these books are by Frida McFadden. So again, I'm just going to give you my star rating and link the vlog in the description, and you can go there for all my thoughts. So the first book I picked up was The Housemaid. I gave that one 4 stars. The second was The Boyfriend. I gave that one 5 stars. The third book was The Wife Upstairs. I gave that one 3 stars. And the last book I picked up was The Tenant, and I gave that one 4 stars. So overall for the month of July, I read a total of 19 books with an average rating of 3.89. And I thought I would let you guys know my favorite book of the month, but I can't pick just one. So it is tied. So for the month of July, the 2 favorite books I read were King of Ashes by S.A. Cosby and The Boyfriend by Frida McFadden. So in the comments below, let me know what your favorite book you read in July was. I hope you had a great reading month. Make sure to like this video and subscribe if you are not already. I appreciate every single one of you being here. And until my next video, friends, be yourself, be awesome, be kind. Bye.